Welcome everyone to the 2025-2026 admissions cycle for Rutgers Electrical and Computer Engineering program. And I'm just going to briefly introduce ourselves and then some special speakers that we have today. So my name is Waheed Bajwa. I am a professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and my role is ECE Graduate Director, and with me is, I'll let Katie introduce herself.
My name's Katie Yu. I work as the ECE Graduate Program Coordinator, and you'll be interacting with me frequently in your admissions and onboarding process to the university.
So if you have registered for this seminar, we will provide you with the slides and other video, but just so you can record, you can reach out to me using this email address, ecgraddirector@soe.rutgers.edu. And you can reach out to Katie, and that is the preferred way because you would get a faster response, ecgrad@soe.rutgers.edu. Now, before we get started, we have two special people who have joined us to talk to you briefly. So first of all, it's our great pleasure to have Dean Mark Robson, who is the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies. So if you join Rutgers as a master's or a PhD or a certificate student, which will talk about the distinctions, you would effectively be under the unit of Dean Robson, and I'll invite him to say a few words welcoming you all, and then we'll talk about the next person that we have online.
Thank you, Professor, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. We are so proud to welcome you to the information session. We are so pleased that you have an interest in our School of Graduate Studies in the College of Engineering, the School of Engineering. This is a wonderful thing for us, and I hope it's a wonderful thing for you. And for us here at Rutgers, you know, we have a very proud history, almost 260 years. We are a large public land-grant university that welcomes students from around the globe. Right now, we have about 68,000 students. 14,000 of them are graduate students. About 5,300 are in the School of Graduate Studies that I have the privilege of leading. So for us, it's a great joy to see your interest in our school. I have been here 52 years. So, you know, someone said, "Do you like it here?" I said, "I think so. I've been here half a century. You know, I'm old, but I'm still here and I still teach and I still have my own graduate students." So I'm not in the Department of Engineering, but in toxicology. But we are so pleased for your interest. I think you'll find Rutgers a welcoming place. Professor Waheed and Katie are extremely good stewards and shepherds. They understand the needs of our graduate students. We will treat you with respect. We will welcome you warmly. And I really hope that this is a good information session for you. So thank you so much. Like Katie and Waheed, I'm also available for questions if you have them. And Professor Waheed, it's back to you.
Thank you so much. And we appreciate you joining us early in the morning here to welcome these students.
Well, I have to tell you a little something, even then I'll mute. So for the students, so I grew up on a farm. So this is actually, the day is half over for me. I get up at 4 a.m. So, you know, when I travel to Asia or India and people say, "Is it too early for you?" I said, no, I've been up for hours doing emails. So when you come, if you come to Rutgers, you can get me most of the time. But thank you, Professor.
Thank you. We also have our Assistant Director from Rutgers Global, Mark Gay. Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I have to apologize. My camera had a little problem today, so I want to be able to see you or meet you online. Thanks again for your attending and interest in Rutgers. So myself actually work in Rutgers Global, which is the office support all the incoming or potential international student So please feel free to contact me if you have any question in regarding international student status or any related questions. Okay, I'll put my email contact in the chat box. Again, glad to meet you online and looking forward to see you someday on our campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, so let's get started with the information session. So we have divided the information session into 4 distinct parts. We will also welcome any questions that you might have. There are 2 ways. We will have a Q&A session at the very end. You can also use the chat feature in Zoom to ask any questions that you might have, and either we will respond back using text, or we will read the question and get back to you. So the way we are going to cover the information session is we are going to provide you, first of all, some background. As Dean Robson mentioned, Rutgers has a very storied history, and we want to talk to you about that. And then we'll talk about the electrical and computer engineering program in general. Then we'll talk about the different degrees that you can pursue, which include the master's degree, the PhD degree, as well as the 2 graduate certificates. And some of our international students are also interested in those. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll hand it over to Katie to talk to you about how, if you are interested in Rutgers ECE, how you can apply. And then we'll end up with an open Q&A session. So let's get started. Let's make sure that all of you are aware of how Rutgers is situated within the academic landscape of the US. So Rutgers is the nation's 8th oldest institute. It was founded before the US became a nation. It was founded in 1766. It is one of the only 9 colonial colleges, which means there were 9 colonial colleges which were founded before the US became a nation. And in terms of its age, it has its peers like institutes like Harvard University, founded in 1636, and Princeton University, 1746. So if you come to Rutgers, you will be effectively becoming a part of history in terms of the academic aspects of institutions in the US is concerned. Rutgers is also called a public Ivy. Some of you might have heard the phrase Ivy universities, and of course, those are private universities, but Rutgers is considered public Ivy because it provides you an education which is comparable to Ivy League institutes, but at a public school price. And it's also part of what's called the Big Ten Conference, which is known for its academic and athletic excellence. And its peers within the Big Ten include University of Maryland, University of Minnesota, Purdue University, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, University of Wisconsin-Madison, Northwestern, and so forth. So if you decide to come to Rutgers, you will find yourself in excellent company as far as your peers are concerned. Now, what makes Rutgers so so exciting to many of our graduate students is because of its strategic location. So Rutgers is located in New Jersey. If you are not familiar with the geography of the US, New Jersey is right beside the New York State, the Pennsylvania State, and Delaware State, and also Connecticut. But in terms of the key things are that where Rutgers, New Brunswick, where we are situated, which is, if this is the map of New Jersey, and we are in what's called Central Jersey, and we are just about 45 minutes train ride from the New York City, and also we are about an hour drive from Philadelphia. You can also take a train there. These are 2 major metro areas, and when our students graduate, they find excellent opportunities to work there. In addition, these offer rich cultural experiences that if you are looking for a weekend out and spend some time, these are excellent opportunities for you. Not to say that New Jersey has not exciting things to offer, but you can really find culturally diverse offerings, whatever your interests are, sports, or whether you are into museums or other things. So an excellent strategic geographic location. But that's not the only thing, which Rutgers is ranked as one of the best universities in the US. In the very recent US News and World Report ranking, we were ranked number 41st among all national universities. And among public universities, which of course have tuition, which is at the public level rather than the private level, we are ranked number 15th. So again, if you decide to come to Rutgers, you will find yourself not only as part of history, strategic geographic location, but also offering you world-class education. Rutgers has a very vibrant student life. We have a very excellent culture when it comes to if you are interested, whatever you are interested in, whether intramural sports, recreation, sports, or even other activities, you will find yourself that you can find plenty of opportunities for you. We have 15-to-1 student faculty ratio. And we have, as Dean Robson mentioned, our current graduate enrollment is 14,029, and our gender balances, we have almost equal gender balance of female and male students. So this is sort of like a little bit of a background about what Rutgers is, if you didn't know about it. We are specifically talking about Rutgers, New Brunswick, the campus, which is in Central Jersey. Now, let's talk a little bit about Rutgers Electrical and Computer Engineering and what we have to offer within Rutgers. Of course, Rutgers is a very big university and there are a lot of excellent programs. But we are here to talk about the electrical and computer engineering program. Before I go forward, again, reminding you, if you have questions, please put them in the chat, and we will get back to those. So within electrical and computer engineering, we offer cutting edge research and teaching excellence. We have one of the best curriculum when it comes to electrical and computer engineering, because we are always innovating in terms of the courses we want to offer. So right now, for example, you can find courses within our department that you would have a hard time finding in other universities, which are really at the cutting edge of what is happening in the workforce. So we have courses that cover quantum computing, virtual reality, machine learning, reinforcement learning, large language models, semiconductor technology for AI, and so forth. That is just one part of the curriculum. But let's say you really wanted to expand your horizon. Rutgers in general, through SGS and ECE department, through that, we have academic partnerships with Princeton University, which is just about 30 minutes drive from Rutgers, or you can take a train there. Columbia University, which is in New York City, New York University, which is in New York City, and University of Pennsylvania, which is in Philadelphia. And these partnerships basically allow our master's and PhD students to take courses at these institutes where, like, for example, Princeton University and Ivy League Institute, a lot of our master's students take courses there. For the courses that are not offered here for whatever reason, they can go take that course there. They don't pay a single dime extra in tuition. So effectively, you are a Rutgers student and you are able to get education which is on par with Princeton, because you can literally just go to Princeton and take some courses there, which is an excellent opportunity, and not every university has that privilege to do these kinds of partnerships. If you are a PhD student, we have advanced research labs that do groundbreaking work. And we are really committed to preparing our students for future challenges in technology and engineering so that they are, once they graduate, they are employable, they are in demand in the workforce. And the way that works is not only through our curriculum, but we have excellent faculty. We have 36 permanent faculty in addition to we have other instructors that come from industry and they teach specialized courses. Our faculty have a lot of excellent accolades. We have 13 fellows of IEEE, one fellow of AAAS, one fellow of the National Academy of Inventors. Our faculty have been recognized through various awards, including the prestigious NSF Career Awards, DARPA Faculty Fellow Awards, Young Investigator Awards, and we spend about $12 million annually on research that our faculty do with mostly with the PhD students, some with their master's students. In terms of the student body at Rutgers, we currently have 278 graduate students. Out of those, 151 are master's students, 124 are PhD, the rest are certificate students. We have about 19% of our body is women, and about 65% of our students are actually international. So we have a very nice blend. 35% of our students are domestic, 65% are international. They come from all different countries, and they find communities when our graduate students come from international countries. They find communities that they are able to basically get support from other students from their countries. We have, if you are a PhD student, we offer pretty generous support. We have support through teaching assistants and graduate assistants. So right now, out of 124, we have 96 of our students are funded through TAs and GAs, and the rest are funded through fellowships and a few other means. Last year, Rutgers ECE department awarded 64 degrees. 11 of those were PhD and 53 were master's degrees. And these students, when they have graduated, they have been able to find placement in excellent companies because of the rigor of education that we provide. Okay, so this is, as we said, we wanted to provide you a brief knowledge about Rutgers New Brunswick, about Rutgers ECE. Let's now specifically jump into, if you are interested, what are the kinds of degrees or programs you can apply to within Rutgers ECE. So within Rutgers ECE, there are 3 ways for you to come to Rutgers. One is to apply for a Master's of Science degree, which includes either thesis-based or non-thesis-based. The Master's of Science degree also comes with, we have these partnerships with some institutes. Some of you might be from those institutes where these partnerships are called 3+2. We'll briefly talk about that later. So that includes that master's degree. We have PhD degrees, and then we have something that not all graduate programs offer. We have graduate certificates. In particular, we have 2 graduate certificates in cybersecurity and machine learning, which both of you can actually apply as an international student if you are an international student. And you can get admitted, get your visa, and just study these graduate certificates if you are not committing to master's or PhD. So these are 3 different routes that you can join the vibrant student community at Rutgers ECE. Now, you can, if you are interested in master's or PhD, so of course, graduate certificates are easy. One is in cybersecurity, one is in machine learning. But if you are interested in master's and PhD, we offer some of the most rich specializations which are tailor-made for your career goals. So we have areas that are communications, networking, signal and information processing, computational sensing, machine learning, systems and controls, computer engineering, software engineering, cybersecurity, electronic devices, circuits, and systems. And if none of these specializations work for you, we also have a special case of cross-cutting specialization where you can basically come up with a specialization that is a combination of a couple of them. So an example is we have sometimes students say, I want to do, for example, machine learning and robotics, or I want to do robotics. You don't have that specialization. Well, we don't have an explicit specialization, but we have courses that cover robotics. In fact, we have an internal certificate that is called Socially Cognizant Robotics. And you can come up with a plan. You work with me to come up with a plan to do a specialization, which is going to be basically a combination of courses from systems and controls and machine learning and signal and information processing, and that will give you a robotics specialization. So extremely flexible, at the same time, very well thought out specializations that prepare you for the careers after you graduate. Three of these specializations are only offered at the PhD level. They are networking, computational sensing, and cybersecurity. That doesn't mean that we don't have courses in these areas, but our faculty is more specialized to handle PhD for that. And our faculty, when they do research or they do teaching, they cut across these specializations. So if you go and look at, for example, our curriculum, as we'll show you later, the link, you will find out that there are courses that cut across different specializations. Now, let's talk about how the different options that you have. So you might be interested in doing masters at Rutgers. If that is the case, then what you can do is either thesis-based masters or non-thesis-based masters. The requirement for thesis-based is that you complete 24 credits. 24 credits translate to 8 courses. With a minimum GPA of 3.0, and then you write a master's thesis, which is another 6 credits, and you defend the master's thesis. The other option is you don't have to do thesis. You can do non-thesis option, which is 30 credits. That translates to 10 courses. And you have to have a minimum GPA of 3.0. And instead of master's thesis, you have to write a technical paper, which is 5 to 6 pages of it doesn't have to be something completely novel. The idea is, can you show your ability to do technical communication? To do masters, you would pick one specialization. We also encourage, as we said earlier, cross-disciplinary focus. And for each specialization, you have a structured selection of core and elective courses that you would take. We'll talk more about how long does it take you to complete the master's. Now, some of you might be coming from our partner institutes. Rutgers has partnerships with universities, and these partnerships are called 3+2. If you have that partnership, what that means is that you do your undergraduate at your home institute, you complete 3 years, and then after that, you move to Rutgers for 2 more years, and you take courses for 2 years, and then some of those courses transfer back to your home institution, and you get a bachelor's from your home institution, and you get a master's from Rutgers. Please keep in mind, this is only for students if you are from one of the partner universities. Otherwise, this doesn't apply to you. Now, we talked about the courses, the specializations. You can basically go to this link, ec.rutgers.edu/graduate-student-handbooks. And you will find our graduate student handbook there, and you will see in the appendix all the courses that you might have that are available to you within different specializations. So this is master's. Let's move to another special case. We have already talked about the fact that as a master's student, for example, you can take up to 3 courses from Princeton University. Another unique aspect of Rutgers master's program is its 4-credit internship program, because we believe that master's students need to get a hands-on experience so that they become employable after they graduate. So what we have is what's called a 4-credit internship program. This is applicable to both thesis and non-thesis students, and it allows you to integrate real-world experience with academic coursework. Basically, you can use up to 6 credits. There are some requirements on what you have to do in that internship, but you can do 2 semesters of internship, each one up to 3 credits. And so instead of then doing 30 credits, you end up doing 24 credits of coursework, and the rest 6 credits you will do for internship. This internship program allows you to get hands-on experience with industry projects and technologies, gives you the ability to showcase your skills to employers when you graduate, and makes it easier for our students to find jobs. You can find, again, more details in our graduate student handbook, but this is something which is you would not find in every graduate program in electrical and computer engineering. Let's transition to the PhD degree. If you are interested in PhD degree, it requires doing both coursework and research. To do PhD degree, you need a research advisor from EC graduate faculty. You choose a specialization area in consultation with your advisor. And you can choose any team, any specialization. Typically, in today's world, students pick areas that cut across different teams. PhD degrees require 72 credits. Some of them are 36 of those are graduate credits, and they can be up to 48, but at least 36 have to be coursework. So that translates to 12 courses. So effectively, if you want to do PhD, you have to take at least 12 courses. The rest is counted towards your research. The requirement for PhD degree is a little bit higher in terms of GPA. It requires you to maintain a GPA of 3.5 rather than 3.0. And you are pretty open to choose out of those 12 courses, whatever you want to take, but 5 of those have to be from the list of PhD qualifying exams. Now, one thing I want to mention is that sometimes we have students who come to PhD after they already have gotten a master's degree. In that case, you can transfer up to 24 credits from your previous master's degree, subject to approval, of course, towards your PhD. So effectively, if you did master's and you took, let's say, 8 courses, and all of those 8 courses were relevant to ECE, instead of requiring 12 courses, you would end up requiring only 5 more courses to take from Rutgers. That would only be for your PhD qualifying exam. The PhD degree requirements, of course, are a little bit more intensive. That after the PhD qualifying exam, you also have to do PhD proposal, and you have to write a PhD dissertation, and you have to defend all of these, and the dissertation has to be defended in a public presentation setting. So in terms of timelines, we talked about the requirements earlier. The master's degree, without thesis, it typically takes 18 months or 3 semesters. And it can take up to 2 years if you are taking slower, but typically for most students, they can finish. The criteria is they take 9 credits first semester, 9 credits second semester. They do a 3 credits of internship, and they take 9 credits in their last semester. But some students do 9 credits, 9 credits, 9 credits for 3 semesters, and then 3 credits in the last semester because they want to graduate in May timeframe. If you are doing thesis, you would require a little bit longer time because thesis requires doing original research. And if you are with a partner institute in a 3+2 program, it will require you typically 2 years also. All of our master's students typically do 1 to 2 internships because it is very valuable for them as they go into the workforce. Our PhD timeline is typically 5 to 6 years, depending upon whether you are coming directly after undergraduate, which we do allow. You don't have to have a master's degree to apply to PhD. Or our PhD program can take master's students after you have graduated with master's. You typically take your qualifying exam between 2nd and 3rd year. You do your proposal typically in the 5th year, defense in the 5th or 6th year, and PhD students do internships in 3rd, 4th, or 5th year. Of course, these are approximate timelines. They depend upon everyone's individual circumstances, but this is on average, this is typically the case. Let's come back to our certificate programs. So as we mentioned earlier, students can apply to 2 certificate programs. You do not have to do a master's or PhD degree at Rutgers to come to Rutgers. You can do a certificate in cybersecurity or machine learning. The requirements for those are much lighter. Basically, a certificate requires 12 credits or 4 courses from a list of approved courses. A certificate would take you typically 1 year. Of course, it's only 4 courses, so the cost is going to be less than master's because master's requires 30 credits and these are going to require only 12 credits. So the cost is about less than half of the master's degree. Now, the key thing about these 2 certificates is that international students have the ability to go on OPT after they have gotten their certificates in the US, so they can actually work after they have gotten their certificate. We'll talk more about admissions requirements for certificates, but one of the advantages of these certificate programs is that they can allow you to basically transition into the master's. So let's say that you are not sure you want to actually do master's, you want to gain some knowledge, or you should feel you are not fully prepared or any of those things. You can start with the certificate program. You finish these 12 credits, get your certificate. If later you decide you did want to do a master's, those 12 credits will count towards your master's. So effectively, you get admitted into the certificate program. Later, you decide you want to transfer to the master's program. Those 12 credits will transfer towards your master's program, and you only have to do 18 more credits. So a few of our international students have found these certificate programs to be very useful because because of the cost effectiveness. It allows them to excel in a certain area, and then they can decide later whether they want to actually pursue the master's or not. Okay, so I have covered a lot of ground. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in chat, and we will address those. And at the end, we will have an extensive Q&A session where we'll keep on answering those. But let's talk about the part of admissions. So let's say that any of these things interest you, you are interested in doing admissions. what are you want to apply to Rutgers, what are the things you need to know. And for that, I'll hand it over to Kate.
Yes, so we hope that everything that you learned about our program has encouraged you to want to apply. So let's go over what that process will look like for the various degrees. So the application deadlines themselves will be on the next slide, but some things that we would like to emphasize is that the GRE is not required for our program. Many ECE programs do require this, and we don't use it as part of our application process. However, if you are an international student, we do require either TOEFL or IELTS scores for non-native English speakers. Unfortunately, we do not accept Duolingo at this time. And if you're submitting TOEFL scores, the suggested minimum requirements you can see here on the screen, along with the IELTS requirement. But please note that they're just a suggestion. They are not a strict cutoff. So we do definitely evaluate applications with scores that are lower than these. And there are English support services here available at Rutgers if you feel like you need that once you arrive. We have many international students whose either native language is English or they have received undergraduate or master's degrees or studied for periods of time in English. And for students that fit those criteria, a waiver of these TOEFL or IELTS exams may be possible. After you submit your application, or if you want to know if you qualify for a waiver before you submit your application, you can reach out to me and I'll be able to help you guide you through that process to see if a waiver would apply to you. So for our specific admissions deadlines, if you are a master's student applying for the fall semester and you require a visa, meaning you're not currently in the United States, our deadline is April 15th. And if you are in the United States, our deadline is May 15th. For PhD students for the fall, if you are requiring a visa and would like to be considered for funding opportunities, our application deadline is January 15th. And if you are in the US and would like to be considered for funding, our application deadline is February 15th. However, we do evaluate applications on a rolling basis starting in mid-January. So if you would like an application decision sooner than that, I suggest that you submit your application. The sooner the better. So that will give us the time to evaluate it, to be able to get back to you in a timely manner. Additionally, if you require a visa, once you go through the admissions process with us, and if you are accepted into the program, then your visa process will go over to Rutgers Global. And those visa processing times can be many months depending on your home country. So just keep that in mind when submitting your application. The sooner you submit it to us, the sooner you get a decision, and the sooner you can work on the visa process if applicable. So for our master's degree, our application requirements are a minimum of a bachelor's degree in electrical and computer engineering or electrical or computer engineering or related fields. There are many people that apply with computer science or physics or math bachelor's degrees or different types of engineering, and they have succeeded on our program. We will need transcripts with that degree. You'll also be writing a personal statement to us demonstrating why you feel ready for the program and why you think that Rutgers ECE is a good fit for you. This is also a great opportunity to address any specific considerations or special experiences that you have had or have any academic inconsistencies. that you would like to address. We'll also need a CV or resume with your academic and professional experiences, and 3 letters of recommendation. These do not only need to be from faculty, but they do need to provide us with evidence that you can succeed in our academic environment. Additionally, there is no, can you go back one, Waheed? There is no strict GPA cutoff for our program as well, so we encourage you to apply. So for the PhD, the application requirements are similar. A bachelor's or master's degree in ECE or a related field like physics, computer science, math. A statement of purpose about your research interests, aspirations, and your future goals. It is very helpful for your application process if you're also able to identify potential faculty members in Rutgers ECE that you would like to have as your advisor. We definitely recommend researching our faculty on resources like Google Scholar and seeing which faculty members align with your research interests and reaching out to them as you submit your application so that they're on the lookout for you as we go through this admissions process. We'll also need a CV from you, specifically highlighting research experiences or publications. And then once again, 3 letters of recommendation with research advisors or faculty members that can speak to your ability to succeed in research capacities. Once again, the statement of purpose is a great opportunity to address any inconsistencies. And we do really look at applications holistically, so each of these aspects are taken into account. So for our certificate programs, there is some less admissions requirements. So once again, you'll need a bachelor's degree in ECE or a related field, a personal statement, your transcript from your bachelor's degree, and only 1 letter of recommendation is needed here. Like Waheed said, these programs are ideal for people that want to focus in on one specific area without committing to a master's program. And if you succeed in this program, you can transition into a graduate program. And this is for our cybersecurity and machine learning certificate programs. So if you would like to apply, I suggest going to our ECE graduate admissions website, which is linked on the screen. And there is a link to our application portal there to submit your application. Once there, I think it's on the 3rd page of the application is where you'll specifically select your degree program, PhD, master's, or certificate. If you are one of our 3+2 students, the master's 3+2 option will also be listed on that admissions site. On our admissions page, we also have a frequently asked questions section, which has answers to a lot of the questions that you may be asking as you go through this admissions journey. So we love when you reach out to us, but before doing that, I encourage you to look at that frequently asked questions page to see if your answer is there. And if you would like any specific details about the requirements or all of this information that we went through today is also in our handbook at the link below. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to me on email. I'm here to help guide you through this process, and we look forward to receiving your applications.
Thank you so much, Katie, for providing this background. So this concludes the information that we wanted to provide each one of you. And I see that Mark has his hand up. So we are going to the Q&A session. So we'll start with Mark's question.
Yeah, so I just want to congratulate Professor Waheed and Katie for as you know, as the dean, as Waheed shared, we have 14,003. I didn't know we had 14,003. So we have 14,000. I just thought we had 14,000. So I look forward to meeting those other 3 students. But I just want to share with all of you online that this is the most comprehensive, thoughtful, best organized presentation. So I think 99% of what you need to know, and hopefully we convinced you that we're a place you want to come to. This was just so well done. So congratulations to both of you. And I mean that sincerely. Please send me the slides. You're going to be my template. But now to all the wonderful people that are on our program today, we have 30 people on, so 27, well, Mark is on, me, Mark, and the other Mark. So 26 people are on as potential students. I want to tell you that this, I hope, helps you understand why we're serious about you thinking about coming to join us, and hopefully also gives you a wonderful overview about how to prepare for your application, how to prepare for thinking about coming here. So please reach out to Katie, reach out to Professor Waheed. We want to make this a fun thing for you to do and to think about us. So once again, congratulations, Waheed. Congratulations, Katie. And I hope that some of you will get to meet when you join us on the banks of the old Raritan.
Thank you, Mark. So yeah, with that cue, we will open up the floor for any Q&A that you might have. And so you can, again, if you feel comfortable, you can unmute yourself and just ask the question. You can also use the raise hand option in Zoom. And if you don't feel comfortable asking the question live, then you can just type it in chat. So we'll give you all maybe 30 seconds to think about what question you want to ask. If you want to type it in the chat, please do so, and we'll be happy to address that. If you cannot think of a question right now, but you want to reach out later, as we said, please feel free to do that. We love hearing from you, and we do get back to you. Our typical turnaround time is anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4 days, depending upon how busy it is. I also want to just remind you all that even though our deadlines are pretty relaxed for masters and for our certificate programs, if you need a visa, it's better to apply early because we make decisions on a rolling basis. So the sooner you apply, the sooner we'll be able to make a decision on your application. And the sooner, if you are hopefully admitted, you will be able to apply for visa and get it in time. Okay. So I don't have anything further to add. Katie, you want to add anything further?
Nope, that's all I have, but I look forward to receiving your questions either here or via email.
Mark, Gay, if you want to add anything, please let us know. And again, we know that many of you are thinking about questions. Maybe you don't feel comfortable asking in front. You can also just message us directly if you feel like not asking in public, and we won't discuss who asked. We can anonymously respond to that.
I have a question for you, Waheed. So we
Yes.
talked about the internship program. Where have people interned?
Yeah, so many of our students have found internships within actually the tri-state area, which refers to basically New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And they have interned from a wide variety of small startups, local companies, to as big as things like Facebook, Google, and Apple. It really depends upon what their interests are. Some of them have interned in, for example, New Jersey is home to AT&T, which is a major telecommunication provider. Many of our students have interned there. We have other labs, Bell Labs and NEC Labs. And then we have a lot of our students actually we have finance sector. New York City is full of finance. So many of our students have gone there also. Okay, I have received a direct message. So let me just read that. The person is saying that they are interested in control systems and they have shortlisted people from ECE. And they also know people from mechanical. Do I have to have separate applications to apply to both departments? So unfortunately, ECE and MAE are two different programs, mechanical engineering, and they have slightly different requirements. Having said that, some of our mechanical engineering faculty are Rutgers faculty also. So if you see any mechanical engineering faculty listed on Rutgers ECE website, and you are interested in working with them, you don't have to apply to mechanical. You can just stick with ECE and just reach out to them. In that case, you will get an ECE degree, but you can be advised by that faculty. So hopefully that clarifies that. But if you want to work with someone, and most control faculty in mechanical are our faculty also, and the term that is used is called graduate faculty. So most of the control faculty in mechanical are our graduate faculty, and they are able to advise you. In that case, you don't have to apply to two departments. Hopefully that clarifies that. Okay, any other questions that people might have? I know some of you might not be feeling comfortable asking. Again, feel free to put it in chat, and we'll be happy to respond to them. We'll give maybe like 15 more seconds if anyone can think of. Otherwise, we'll conclude the session. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us, and we will be since you registered, you will be receiving a communication later in terms of the links to this to the slides, and also the a recording of this presentation. And if you also know people who might be interested in our program, please feel free to forward it to them also. They may benefit from it. So someone asked, how about the fee for MS? So I presume by fee you mean the tuition and fees and not the admission fees, because they are two different things. But for the tuition of the master's program, or whether it's master's or whether it's certificate, basically the roughly thing is it depends upon whether you are an international student or you are not an international student. For an international student, the exact numbers are not at the top of my head, but I believe it's somewhere around $1,000 per credit. So, and Katie can look into that and tell us, but because I have in front of my screen the slides.
So I can speak more to this, Waheed.
Yes, please, Katie.
So for international students or students that do not live in New Jersey originally, it's about $1,500 per credit. And if you do live in New Jersey, as in New Jersey is your home state, then it's about $800 per credit. Additionally, if you're talking about the application fees, I believe it's $70 is the application fee. If you are going through a financial hardship and don't feel like you can pay the application fee, within the frequently asked questions on our website, there is information to submit an application fee waiver, which goes through the admissions department. Just so you know, all of the fees are not set by the department, nor are they managed by the department. So if you have additional questions about that, I can get you in touch with the right resource.
So just to add, so that's why we mentioned that some of our students who because I mean it is a substantial investment, and this is an investment into your future, but in some cases students are not sure that they want to make that such a huge investment. So if you were to extrapolate the master's total degree from $1,500 per credit, that translates to the total cost is $45,000 for the master's. But if you can also pursue then the certificate program, which will be $18,000. And if the certificate program is something that interests, it's of course substantially cheaper than the master's one because it only requires 12 credits. And later, if you decide you want to go to master's, then you can switch over to master's later. Okay, looks like there are no more questions. So thank you everyone for joining us. And we hope to see your application into the system. Again, as we said, the earlier you apply, the earlier you will get a decision back. Thank you so much. We appreciate you listening about the Rutgers University, about Rutgers ECE, and about the programs we have to offer. And we hope to see some of you in person, getting admitted and coming to Rutgers next year. Have a good night, good afternoon, and good evening, and good morning wherever you are.